Hey guys, this is Daniel.
And Matthew, and you're watching the That Damn Brand podcast.
Yep, it's been a while, a long, long while. Not to quote Stain. But we're back and we got some interesting new. Well, I find some of it interesting. Maybe you won't, but I do. That's what's
Hey, now
important.
I chose I chose half of it, so
Yeah. So Matt, you lead in since the first story is yours.
okay. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is I was looking around on Twitter as I do when we're bored these days, and I saw that Clippy B is apparently working on a new IP with some writer and some, I think it was like executive producer or something like that. And these are industry people, like they're veterans, they're not just like some schmucks off the street or whatever. So I'm kind of excited because I feel that like Cliffy, when he left Gears, that kind of like declined the franchise a bit. But then when he went out on his own, the two games that he released as like, I think it was like Boss Key Studios was the name of his company, Lawbreakers and oh god, what was that battle royale game? It's kind of like
Radical Heights.
Radical Heights. Yeah, that's it. Lawbreakers and Radical Heights were both like huge flops, and so
Well, the funny thing
uh,
about Radical Heights was that he talked shit about battle royales, which he should have, and then he went out and made one.
right. Well, so like, and apparently, Lawbreakers actually was pretty well received by the critics. Like, it wasn't a huge success with the fans, but apparently the critics thought it was pretty good. I never got a chance to play it. Like, I don't even know if you can like still get it, or if it's just like you had to have a physical copy of it. But I did try Radical Heights while it was around, and I mean, I got stuck in a door in one of the matches, so it definitely had some bugs to work out. But anyway, regardless of all that, I wasn't really expecting Cliffy to jump back in so soon, since those two were failures, and he shut down the his studio. But I'm excited to see what he's gonna bring to the table. It's interesting, I think.
Yeah, I'm curious on where he's gonna go. I know he likes obvious first-person shooters, and Unreal is like his baby. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did an Unreal type game or fast pace. When he talked shit about battle royales, he actually brought up arena shooters. So if my guess was anything, he would be an arena shooter. Um, I like most of his work. I'm not gonna say all of it. I didn't like. I have no interest in a battle royale. I never played Lawbreakers. I'm sorry, right?
I think it was Lawbreakers, or maybe it was Lawbringers. Whatever.
I don't know. That's how much I played it.
Right.
Obviously, Gears is one of my favorite franchises of all time. One through four,
Same.
not one through four. I'm sorry, one through three. And yeah, when he left, the franchise went to shit, in my opinion. And
Agreed.
I'm looking forward to, I'll probably support his next step in his career because I liked Gears that much. But after two failures, it's kind of hard to like be excited about it, and also not know anything about it. So he could just go straight off, like out in the middle, do something weird, like maybe they'll
Yeah.
do a party game now or something. I don't know.
I mean, so I was trying to think of what even that game was, the Lawbreakers. I know it was a shooter, but the thing was, it was like anti-gravity or low gravity or something. Like
Yeah, it was like anti-gravity, and you can like float and shit like that. I don't know
flip
correctly.
perspective and all this kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of out there. It's the thing that always sticks out to me the most about Cliffy and the whole Gears in general is the fact that he was the reason why the chainsaw was in the game. Like, I've read things, I've seen interviews. They're basically like Microsoft didn't even want the chainsaw to be
the
in Gears. They're
lampshade.
like, yeah, they're like, maybe we can take that out. And Cliffy was like, no, like, this is fucking amazing. This is like so fun. I think people are gonna love it. And to me, that was one of the best parts about Gears, just waiting around the corner with the fucking chainsaw. And then when they had a chainsaw duels and shit, like, I mean, that wasn't as cool, but it was just something different. At least they were trying to innovate.
Well, I thought Chainsaw Duels solved the whole chainsaw stalemate from the first one, where someone would
Just
just
running
win.
around.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
well,
whoever had host or whatever.
Yeah, and that's bullshit. So I'm glad they introduced some sort of mechanic to where the winner actually won something.
right?
But most of the time it was just chainsaw duels and someone comes with a shotgun, boom, while they're dueling. But
Pretty
anywho,
much.
yeah, it's such a fun game, and I have a lot of good memories of it. So I I am with you, Cliffy. Hopefully you'll do something good this time.
Yeah, I mean, I if I had to speculate, I don't think he's gonna do something so far off base. Like I feel like a battle royale, he was sort of trying to cash in on the popularity of it, because like
Hmm.
everyone fucking is doing a battle royale practically these days.
Yeah,
So, um, I think that was a misstep. But I think he's gonna probably stick more to his roots, like you said, maybe an arena shooter of some sort. But it's gonna have a twist, like the anti gravity thing, or I mean, I don't know. I really, at this point, there's been so many shooting games. It's like, really, how do you kind of like put your own spin on it? But
I,
that's why
I
I'm not a game developer. So
I think at the current climate in, I guess, shooters, just bringing back a classic arena shooter could probably succeed because there's none anymore.
and so when you say arena shooter, you're talking about like Unreal Tournament and like
Unreal
Hexen and
Tournament, Quake, Halo,
Quake. Yeah.
even. But Halo, maybe he'll do like a high speed one, like Quake, like Unreal, and that's the kind of stuff that he liked. He liked doing like I guess minor changes in classes, not too big, but like I don't know how to say it.
I know what you're saying, but yeah. So I mean, either way, I'll be looking out for that. So we'll see.
Yeah, there hasn't been an Unreal since.
Oh, they were doing the crowdsourced one, Unreal Champions. I actually have it in my Steam library. I've just never played it. But yeah, that was like I think they gave up on that around the same time they also stopped developing Paragon. So I think what it was I think Fortnite actually killed it. I want to say they took the people that were working on
That's
Unreal
right.
Champions and they fucking shifted them to go work on Fortnite because Fortnite fucking exploded.
Everyone,
So
that's right. They put like all their resources into Fortnite and then became another Steam where they don't make any games. They just have a store.
well, I mean, they don't make any more games. They have Fortnite. What else do they need in their eyes? Yeah.
Steam has Dota, so I guess it's the same. But okay. So next story is an interesting one for me because Sony hasn't actually announced it, but people are noticing that the new box art for Ghost of Tsushima, I think that's how you say it.
Tsushima, I believe,
Tsushima. Okay, so
like
my
the T is
bad.
silent.
Actually doesn't say only for PlayStation anymore or whatever their PlayStation exclusive slogan is.
I
A
think
lot
it
of
is
people,
only on PlayStation.
a lot of people are thinking that they're going to release it on PC soon. Um, Sony has come out and admit that they want to embrace the PC market a little bit more. It's going to be something more like their exclusives will be exclusive to PlayStation for a year or two, and then come out on PC, which that's fine with me. I have a lot of shit to play. Um, so everything lines up with this, in my opinion, because we've already had, Horizon came out last year, so the next big game would be this one. There's the rumor of Bloodborne on PC.
Wait. Real quick. So you're talking about Horizon Zero Dawn launching on PC?
It's already out.
I know, but
Yeah,
you said it came out last year. I'm pretty sure it just came out like a month or two ago.
I could have sworn it was last year.
I think so. Maybe you're right, but anywho, yeah, okay. Just making sure. Go ahead.
Okay, well, they're embracing the PC market a lot more, and they know that they're leaving dollars on the table when they don't. So I can definitely see this happening. And if it does, then that's really cool because PlayStation does have a lot of single player games that are really, really good. I think Xbox has them beat multiplayer wise, but for the story based games, they're really, really good. And I'm just waiting for the PC version of God of War.
I mean, that'd be cool. Like, I haven't really played a PlayStation game since I had a PS3. But when I did have a PS3, I played I think it was Uncharted 1 and 2. I think 3 was about to release, but I never played it on PS3. I played 1 and 2 and they were really good. I think one of the Assassin's Creed I played on PlayStation. But yeah, like The Last of Us and The Last of Us 2 are like really great story games, and um, Ghost of Tsushima, or however you say it,
I've heard
whatever
a
the hell
lot
you're
of
talking
good
about.
things about that game.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. I saw one of my friends stream it, and it looks incredibly fun. It looks kind of brutal, like almost Ninja Gaiden or like Dark Souls ish in terms of difficulty, but
Yeah,
it seems fun. And I'd probably pick it up on PC, especially because they just added like a co-op mode or something not that long
I
ago.
did. Yeah, I remember that.
And so that's right down our alley. So
So Horizon Zero Dawn came out on Steam August 2020.
okay, so well, I guess it was last year, but I don't know. It doesn't. It's 2020 was just such like a I don't know. Anyway, cool. Good on you for getting that research in. Um, but yeah, like the exclusivity deals. When you were talking about it, I kept thinking about the last time. It might have even been the last podcast we did. We were talking about the whole Sony VR exclusivity with like Resident Evil 7. How it
Yeah.
was eventually supposed to come to PC and it never did. So I'm hoping that by you saying they're trying to embrace it more, they're actually taking that shit seriously, and then
Well,
they're not. It's
that's
not just
different.
PR.
But that's different because that's on Capcom. They paid Capcom to make the VR. Capcom wasn't going to make VR if it wasn't for Sony throwing the dollars at them. And Capcom had the right to do that, but they chose not to. I guess maybe because everyone on PC already bought it. So why add the mode in and go do all that stuff where when you're just putting your game on sale at that point?
I
That's
mean,
I wanted them to do it. I wanted them to do it. Believe me, but I get the business behind it.
well, I mean, they could have just, essentially they would have only had to, they would have probably just had to port it or like, some kind of upscaling. I don't know, obviously. But I don't imagine it would have been too difficult to basically take the PlayStation VR version and like turn it into the PC VR
Well,
version.
it's kind of different because the controls are different. Like,
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's ports of stuff all the time. So
and they dumb
my
it down to Oculus whenever they have multiple. I don't think I think PlayStation VR has a better controller than Oculus.
I mean, you're probably right, but my point basically is saying that I don't feel like it would have taken too much effort to make the port of it, and then they could have. I mean, hell, if they had charged an extra $10 for VR mode, I think people would have. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. People would have paid that. I mean, shit, especially if you already own the game, and then hey, here's a chance to play it again in fucking VR.
I would have bought the game and then paid the $10 because I didn't buy the game because of that. That pissed me off.
Yeah. So I mean,
I understand what you're saying.
They could have made money.
But it's not Sony.
I know. Again, but I'm talking about Capcom. Like Capcom could have done it. Like Capcom could have said, "Hey, we're gonna do this, and it's gonna be an extra $10."
So Sony just really wants to port their games to PC just to tap into that market, which is smart. That's why.
But you know what's funny about it too? Like the whole Resident Evil VR thing. How they announced the Resident Evil 4 is coming out to the Oculus 2 or whatever. Sorry, the Oculus Quest 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, damn it. Might have to get one of those.
I'm waiting for Quest 3.
You're waiting for 3?
This not like for my Rift S, it's not a big enough difference for me to justify buying that. So I'm waiting for Quest 3. They already said Quest 4 is being worked on, so Quest 3 is coming out.
Wow.
So I'm gonna wait for that and then go.
Well, we'll see. Maybe there'll be some discounts coming up because yeah, my Rift's kind of Anyway. So what's next?
So next, E3 was a few weeks ago, and they talked about this guy right here. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm pointing to Master Chief.
Oh yeah, I forgot. This is gonna probably end up on Spotify.
Yeah. So they showed some trailer, which, like I thought it was all right. Like it's cool. It didn't really excite me in any way. It was like another AI. That's what everyone was like. Oh no, it's not Katana. That's cool. Didn't really show anything. So like I said, it's all right. It was just CGI cutscene. The real thing that they kind of showed was the multiplayer, free to play, which that kind of caught me off guard. I know there was talks of it, but with Game Pass, I would think that they wouldn't really have made it free to play. No, whatever. That's cool. That's cool. The more players, the better. And that's probably more for the PC market than it is like the Xbox market.
Yeah, I mean, look at Fortnite. Fortnite's free to play.
Yeah. So that's really cool. I like how their season passes don't expire. Have you purchase them, like you don't have to play a million hours in 3 weeks. So I really do enjoy that. It
Did,
looks like it's gonna play like classic Halo, and I'm cautiously optimistic about that because ever since 343's taken over, they've always drifted away from the original recipe, which I don't know why you would do that because I'm not going to buy a Halo game to play Call of Duty. So
yeah, I mean, Gears tried that with Judgment, and it did not go well.
well, Halo tried that with Halo 4,
Yeah,
and that's when
so
that's when it started sucking, and no one gave a shit about Halo anymore.
right.
Halo's not the killer app it used to be, but I'm excited about it. Being a Halo fan, um, I'm looking forward to the story as well. Unfortunately, as I said, they didn't really reveal anything. We do know it's 4-player co-op, which that's cool. I don't know if we'll get 2 other people to play with us though, because no one wants to play Halo. But overall, it's free. With the Game Pass, I'm excited. I guess I am because there's a low buy-in. If I'd have spent $60, I'd have been pissed.
Well, I mean, you're going to be paying for the battle pass or whatever, so
I don't know about that. I'm not too big into cosmetics like everyone else.
I'm
I
just
don't mind being
saying.
a default.
That's just funny. Like maybe they'll do like a PSO style system where you can unlock some shit, but then they get the really cool shit you gotta pay the premium. Or actually, Apex is like that too. So
And
yeah,
I would
maybe
probably
that's
do
what it
that
would be.
because you do need to support the game for it to like continue existing and new content stuff like that. So I would probably buy like the recon gear or the scout gear. No, I'm sorry, the scout gear. I'm really big into the scout gear. So I would scout myself out, and then that's pretty much it. And then buy the color that I want, because I'm gonna guess every single fucking color is gonna be behind a paywall. I'd
I mean,
probably
you're
do
not.
that.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. Like I think I told you again one of the previous episodes that they have like specific colors like you're talking about and shades and whatever armor stuff like tied to the figures. Like my girlfriend bought a Master Chief figure and it has like a little thing that you can redeem
Yeah.
in game to get like certain armor or whatever. I'm just like, I might have to use that.
So I'm gonna
but
pay. Go on.
well, I was just gonna say, tying back to what you're saying with the battle pass, real quick. I don't know if you saw the video on it, but
I
I
watched
watched
it.
that. Okay, so yeah, the thing that stuck out to me was that they said like, so say you buy the season 1 battle pass and you don't finish it before season 2 comes out, you can buy the season 2 one, but then you can choose where to put your progression. Like you can choose to put it either in the first one to continue grinding for whatever you're trying to get, or you can start going on to the next one, and they don't expire. So say you start working on the second one and then you do finish that one, you can go back to the first one.
Which
you
is
know
how the current Master Chief collection works. The problem is I can't get my fucking scout gear. So I hope that I can just buy it. just just be done with it. And like I don't care about any battle pass. I don't care about like flaming heads. I don't care about, and that's what I'm kind of scared of. Because if you saw the Halo Online fucking armor, it looks fucking dumb.
Really?
Yeah, 343's armor looks like shit. Like there hasn't been any. Their armor design sucks compared to Bungie's, and it looks
Well,
so out of place.
did you see the Ronin or the Samurai one from that video?
Yeah, that's the one everyone's crazy about. I was like,
I'm not
meh.
crazy about it. I think it looks okay. But I mean, I still prefer the Hayabusa one because that reminds me of fucking Indicator.
But that's what it was from. Like the Hayabusa one made sense because they had the crossover, and not that made sense in terms of Halo lore. Before anyone like shits on me for that, but made sense because of what happened during that time. You had the Hayabusa armor in Halo 3, and you actually had a Spartan in fucking DOA.
Which is weird.
She was really good. Well,
I know.
cool.
I'm not saying, but it's just weird to
Her
think
sticky
about.
bomb was really strong, or her sticky grenade was really strong.
Yeah. That was like DOA 3, wasn't it?
4.
4. Okay. Yeah. Good stuff.
But what I liked about that armor is they still model it in a way where it didn't look too out of place. It still looked like it came from the Halo universe. Like, and I don't know if you've seen some of the online ones. You probably don't because you don't pay attention as much as I do. Like some of them look fucking dumb, like just really, really stupid. So that's what I'm scared of. Anything 343 touches makes me scared. So we'll see how. But it's free.
I mean, I was actually before this podcast, I was actually watching. Well, I didn't get to finish it, but I was watching a graphics comparison of Halo Infinite from 2020 versus like the most current iteration.
I've seen the stills of that. I haven't seen the video.
Well, it's basically the same thing, but so it's like comparing, videos side by side, and then it kind of freezes on like the real detailed parts of it and stuff. And so yeah, it's come a long way, at least in terms of graphics. And the multiplayer trailer actually got me hyped for the game because obviously all this shit's staged. Like you're not gonna snipe somebody and then someone's gonna come behind you and fucking sword you, and then that person's gonna get dive bombed from a ship, and then that ship's gonna get grapple hooked. Like all that shit's not gonna happen in tandem. Maybe one or two, maybe even three, but all that was just set up to highlight everything. But still, it looks cool as shit. Because one of the things that always bothered me about Halo was I know they added ways to counter vehicles, but for the most part, let's say one team got all the vehicles, like if they went behind your spawn and they got in all the vehicles, you're basically fucked. Like you could use rockets, you could use lasers, whatever, but for the most part, if you lost control of your vehicles, you were just fucking owned. And at least this way, with the grappling hook, you can like grapple onto the shit that's flying by and try to like fucking jack them out of it,
But I think the grappling hook's going to be equipment, so you're not going to have the grappling hook off the back.
Well, I mean, even still, I also think you're right about that because they said something about how you can pick up an overshield and not immediately use it, and then if someone kills you, you drop it, so then they can grab it.
Overshield and invis are now equipment and not just on you just touch them when you get them, so you can use them like mid combat. Which that's gonna add a lot of mind games because if their overshield works the way the other overshield worked, I don't know if you remember. I was really into Halo, so I do remember. It would just recharge your shield and you'll pretty much be invincible for a little while until your shield gets really, really charged up. So if you take some, like let's say you're fighting someone with a shotgun and they're going to rush you down, hop around a corner real fast, pop it, and while your shield's charging up, come out with that little invincibility it's going to be interesting how that stuff is going to be used. I understand your idea of vehicles, but that's also part of the arena shooter aspect. You're not supposed to lose them.
Just saying, it's happened.
Yeah, it has, and we've done that many times. Like, was it
the other squad?
Was it? You remember? I don't know if
the elephant captured the flag.
No, yes, but yes, that's another one. But I was thinking more Halo 2, and you may have not played with me during that time.
We used to play in the gym because there was no roost around.
But that was Halo 3. Or the Halo. No, you're right. It was Halo 2 because Halo 3 came out while we used to. You're right.
When we were back in the roost, yeah.
So, do you remember that cave map with the two wraiths?
Shit.
Like Wetworks or like something?
I think so.
So what I used to do, I was probably when I would get an R wraith, like my team's wraith, rush over and try to kill the person before they get into their wraith, take their wraith, destroy mine, and then come back to my side. So my wraith respawns, and now we have two wraiths.
Smart.
So I have many, like I know exactly what you're talking about because I used to be the oppressive asshole who would just like set up a base bombing inside when they couldn't do anything. I learned many arcs on how to arc the wraith bomb inside windows. Like I was hella good with that thing. But anyway, shit. I wasn't that good ever with the scorpion, but I was good with the wraith.
Yeah. And so, like, just because people were going to be like, the elephant thing. Okay, so what's the name of that? This is not Zanzibar, Sand Trap?
Yeah, Sand Trap. When we played Capture the Flag.
On Sand Trap, we did I think it was Big Team Battle, Capture the Flag, something like that. And basically, we positioned the elephants, like, right next to each other. It was like, flag taken, flag captured, flag taken, flag captured. We finished the round in, like, a minute or something after we got that in position.
I think it was only this map that had the elephant. They experimented with a mobile base. So your base, your spawn point, was a vehicle. So we pretty much just stole their base, put it next to ours, and just captured the flag within like 30 seconds 3 times. And before anyone could ever react, game over.
It was fucking amazing. That was like one of my favorite memories ever. We just fucking wrecked them. It was fun.
I think, and then when we flipped it, and it was like,
how did you do this?
Yeah, that was cool. Anyhow, Um, well, moving. Oh, I guess we can talk about this because this game actually is going to be on the older systems. Xbox is updating their packaging to show what system the game's for. I guess mainly specifically if it's backwards compatible or not with the last generation console. I think that's a great move considering a lot of people don't know that they're only, they said they were going to support it for 2 years, I think, and it's almost been a year. So that, it's only one more year if what I'm saying is true.
That's crazy to think just because of the shortages, Like,
Like no one has one yet?
Yeah, that's like, I understand if they had, availability out the wazoo and everyone was able to get one, but because of the shortages, I feel like they should at least expand it by probably a year.
Well, then that's like a whole game design thing. When you start game design, designing the game exclusively for the Series X or Series S or the series.
Right. But I mean, you can dumb it down. Just take off some HD textures and
no. The differences between the two hardwares is crazy. So like if you actually design to take advantage around the new hardware, you cannot go back. And it's not simply making more polygons. Because I'm gonna nerd out a little bit, but that has to do with the CPU. It's totally different. So the whole base of how you start the design is different. But anywho, it's good that they're doing that because a lot of people, and I guess unless you're really following the shit like we do, wouldn't know. Like hell, I don't even know sometimes. So I think it's a requirement, honestly.
To change the packaging?
Yeah, to say if it's going to be backwards compatible or not, because as you said, people can't even find one.
Right. Yeah, and they're relying on like, bots and stuff on Twitter and people are like, "Hey, there's a drop on Amazon. Good luck, fuckers,"
Yeah.
Actually, what's funny is I'm subscribed to one of the PS5 bots on Twitter, and I got a notification last night at like 11 p.m. It was right after we had got off stream. I was like, I got a note. But yeah, so I can maybe not say what I want to do with it. But yeah. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Kind of like you and some graphics cards. But anyway, so I got a notification. You did?
But like a few months ago, but I let my cousin buy it.
Ah, okay.
At cost.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. You're a nice guy.
Anyway, his PS4 was breaking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So anyway, the bot went off and it was like, it's in stock on Amazon. I'm like, fuck, let me just take a look. And it was there. I could add it to cart, and then I'm like, cool. Let me just see about checking out. And then I'm like in there putting in information, and it's gone. Like this thing's gone. I'm like, what the fuck, really? And so
Amazon's one of the worst. Amazon...
Well, so I refreshed, and then it wasn't in my cart anymore. But then you can go to like, it doesn't just like get rid of it. It puts it in your list or whatever. So I went to my list. I was able to add it to cart again. And this time when I went to check out, I got further. But when I got to the part about, I think it was like just confirming my billing, that was when it fucked up again. And after like the second time, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And everyone on Twitter is like, yeah, just keep trying. I was able to get one. Sometimes, just so many people doing it, blah, blah. But, it's just a whole rigmarole, like trying to get one. Like, I know how you get yours because of all like the alerts you watch. And, luckily you work from home a lot and you're able to just be there. But like, it's unless you're doing this kind of stuff where you're basically watching it like a hawk, you're kind of fucked because, these drops happen, people get them, and they're gone like that.
Speaking of that, I would just have to. I'm actually keeping this one, so no one get mad. I got a. Oh, it's not even visible.
Green screen fucking up. That's huge. What is that? Just tell us what it is.
It's a hybrid 3080.
Okay. Yeah, you can sort of see the.
I can see the 3080. Yeah. So cool. I have to reconfigure my fans a little bit in my case, but. I'm gonna put that to work mining.
Nice. So, but anyway, getting back to the whole thing about the packaging and whatnot. Yeah, since these consoles are so hard to find, like it is a good idea to let them know, like, hey, this is gonna be for series.
S's have been pretty easy to get, to be fair.
Well, but who wants that though?
I think there's a market. I don't have a problem with the S. Like, if there's a little kid that just wants something new and they don't know the difference between 4K and 1080p, then give them an S.
But yeah, but see, that's the magic word, like little kid. I understand that they have a huge base that are kids, but still, like people like us, it's like, I don't want to.
Well, I know you don't, and I wouldn't either. But it doesn't mean there's not a market.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, that's reason why that there's you can get an S is because there's a market, but it's not as much of a market, I guess, as the ones that want the X. And then just talking about this still just pisses me off to this day. Microsoft, why the naming convention? Why
Yeah,
did
it's
you
dumb.
name this shit? Like, just call it like Xbox 7 or something. Like, come on, man.
Well, they're gonna do different tiers. It should be. I don't know. Yeah, Series is dumb. I don't know. I think yeah. I don't know. It's
Or like, so
stupid.
let's say you were just gonna call it Xbox Series. So then it's like Xbox Series and then Xbox Series something, but like Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S sound almost similar, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I heard Discord. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it was just a thing saying I'm not there. But
Yeah. Um,
well, whatever.
I agree with you. I agree with you that I think my issue with it is actually the S and the X were used in the previous generation. So it's like Xbox, and they're placed in the same name, like part of the name. So it's Xbox One X or Xbox Series X. And people who don't follow this shit are like going. I remember when they first came out, and people thought they were buying fucking the new Xbox, and they were buying the old Xbox. Like, and people didn't like. That's fucking dumb. How do you not see that coming? So yeah, they should have been like Xbox Next and then Xbox Next Pro or something.
There's a lot of ways they could have gone,
Yeah,
and they did not go in any of them.
Next
So
box.
that's yeah, right? Shit. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that's different.
we could probably riff on this for hours too. So just whatever. We'll move
Just
on.
buy a PC. You don't have to deal with that.
Just have to wait for the console exclusivity to run out. But anyway.
Well, if you're going after Xbox, you don't have to.
Oh, true. True.
Okay. So the next thing, Space Jam. So I'm actually a fan of Space Jam. I remember it came out on my birthday years and years ago. I was still in elementary school, so that thing's old. Um, Obviously, they're coming out with a new LeBron James one, which I'm still gonna see it, but LeBron James. They have a new game coming out, which is a side-scroller beat 'em up, where LeBron James is in it.
I'm starting to sense a trend here.
Yeah, but it's him, Lola, and Bugs. The trailer only showed them three, and it only showed three players, which I think is fucking stupid. I don't know why there isn't a fourth player. That doesn't make any fucking sense. It's not like you don't have a cast that you can't pick from. Like you have to create new characters. There's tons of fucking characters that you can come up with, or that you can just pick. Daffy, pick the grandma that they were like talking. Granny, I forgot. That's her name.
Yosemite
Granny.
Sam. I liked Yosemite Sam with his long ass mustache.
Oh, you can't have Pepe Le Pew.
Oh,
He's a bad
yeah.
for that's. Did you hear about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The big red thing from that chase around Bugs Bunny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like there's not a shortage of characters, and we really didn't need LeBron James.
Yeah. Right. But
But
I
the
mean,
game,
it's probably part of the licensing. Like, hey, you're gonna do cereal, you're gonna do this, you're gonna be a video game, you're
yeah,
gonna get shoes, toys, whole works.
yeah, I know they're using him to sell, definitely. But the game itself looks all right. It kind of caught me off guard that it was an Xbox game, like an exclusive. Like, why did Microsoft go after exclusivity on that? But but the game looks all right. The controllers, on the other hand, so they have Space Jam controllers. I don't know how well those are going to sell. I'm going to guess not, because no one asked for Space Jam to begin with. I'm kind of like I'm going to watch it, but I never asked for it. So I don't think those will sell that well, personally.
Agreed.
They have a Toon Squad one, which, the Goon Squad one, which looks shitty, and then they had like the Tron one, which I'm like,
It's supposed to be like a circuit board. Like I watched the quick trailer for the controllers, and it's
yeah,
like
I
something about
know.
how like he gets digitized to go into the thing to be with the Looney Tunes or whatever. So it's and it has like WB Warner Brothers on it and just some like little icons. But
It looks like a
anyway,
motherboard. It looks like a blue
yeah,
motherboard. Like it's so stupid. Like
we'll probably throw them up on screens right here so you guys can see what we're talking about. But
yeah. So yeah, that's cool. Like that they're embracing that. I think they could have done a better job. I think especially when you have a IP like Looney Tunes, and you have a controller that's Toon Squad, which is Looney Tunes, you might want to have some Looney Tunes on the controller. Like, that's just me. That's so fucking dumb. And not LeBron James.
Right. I'm actually surprised he's not on the controller, but
Yeah. I thought he would be on the cyber one, since that's the whole point of him getting like sucked into Looney Tunes, which is in cyberspace. I thought they were cartoons and like they're drawn. Okay.
I don't know. That's like the direction it looks like they went. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I agree with pretty much everything that you're saying. Like, I wasn't asking for a new Space Jam, but I'll probably check it out anyway. The game looks surprisingly good. It looks kind of like retro Streets of Rage, Final Fight, all those side-scrolling beat 'em ups that I know you and I played when we were younger. And aside from the 3-player thing, like you said, which is puzzling, it looks pretty cool. And then the controllers, I don't think they're gonna sell at all. I would say until they just announced the return of the design lab, which we could talk about that too in a minute.
I was actually going to go into that.
Okay, so before they announced that, I was going to say the only thing that I could see, the only reason I could see these controllers selling are for the colors. Like if that specific shade of purple on the Goon Squad, you're like, oh, I want that purple. I don't give a fuck that says Goon Squad, but that purple looks amazing. And then Toon Squad, how it kind of has like a gradient. I think it's like yellow and blue and orange, sort of like ours, but yeah, anyway. I don't want to say Toon Squad. If it didn't have that word on there, it might be kind of cool, actually. And then I love motherboards. Oh, the scrolly Looney Tunes.
Like that's all, folks. The circle on it.
Yeah. But I mean, if it just was the colors, I would be like, yeah, people might buy it because of the colors. But now that the design lab is back, that's fucking out the window.
Yeah, I agree. I had a point that I was going to make, but I forgot, so it probably wasn't that important.
Well, it was about the design lab, probably, because that's what
it wasn't about design lab. But okay, well, I guess, we're not too thrilled about the controllers. That's all we got to really say. That's all I really got to say about that, I guess. I forgot. But yeah, design lab's coming back, or is back, I should say. I looked into it. They actually took out a lot of stuff.
Really?
Like, they added 3 colors, which is actually the colors that they have already out. The shock blue, the electric volt, and I guess I don't know what they call the red, but the red blue one.
The red, blue, and yellow.
Yeah, but the electric one looks cool. That's more like a neon yellow, so I think that's really, really cool, like highlighter yellow. That's actually one that I was contemplating getting, but I don't want really that much. Because I don't like how they make the buttons the colors. I think that's like the sacred thing that you shouldn't touch the button colors. But anyway.
I'm trying to look. Yeah, my controller that I have, it's the classic, the colored buttons.
So like for the blue one, the buttons are all blue. For the yellow one, the buttons are all yellow, and the red ones, the buttons are all red. Anyway.
Yeah, that would, especially if you're used to looking at the controller, and let's say you don't know English or something, you just recognize them by color.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta push the yellow button. Like, well, now they're all fucking yellow. So
they do have, like, in the middle of the square diamond shape, like right under it would be as a yellow dot, that and a blue dot and a green dot, so you kind of know. Okay. But that's still shitty. I don't like that. So,
I mean, no argument here, but that's wow.
But so they took out the metallic triggers. They took out the metallic D-pads.
Wow, I kind of like those actually.
Yeah, me too. But they said, I think the response was that they're adding more as they go. So maybe like they just finally, it took them half a year to bring it back, which is fucking crazy. So maybe they just wanted to bring something back and get it out there. What was interesting, I read the FAQ, and a lot of people, including myself, are bitching that they don't have a design lab for the Elite controller. And obviously, this doesn't mean anything, but in the FAQ, they did specifically talk about that, saying, like, we understand there's a lot of people requesting this, and we're listening to your feedback. So does that mean they're going to bring an Elite controller? If they do, it's probably not going to be till like 2 years from now, based on how they do things, but it's a possibility.
Right when they're getting ready to announce the next Xbox, then it's going to be like, hey, we're bringing the design lab for the Elite controllers, but
We have we have a
Yeah,
shitload of parts left over. How do we get rid of them?
I know. Let's just spray paint them to be metallic, and then people will buy
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
So I think it's pretty cool. It's $60 or $70, I'm sorry, for a custom controller. $10 more if you get the engraving. Since they don't have any of the premium color, the premium like editions, like the uh, metallic, you don't get upcharged for that stuff. So those are the only two prices. It's like non-engraved or engraved.
And where is the engraving? Like down by the D-pad, like right here.
Yeah, like under right here.
Okay, and then just put like your gamer tag or something.
Yeah,
Okay, that's pretty cool actually. I don't know if it's like what'd you say, $10 more?
$10.
I don't know if it's $10 cool, but who knows?
Uh,
It seems like it'd be tight.
I think it's a good idea. I think it's cool because like the whole system. First off, you can customize your controller and make every single button, or at least a different color, or at least like the sticks one color. You can't change the different colors of the sticks, or like each
Mm.
stick make them independent. But considering this, most new controllers when they come out are $60, and then over time that color goes down in price. $70 for any color you want is kind of cool, in my opinion.
Yeah, no. I mean, don't get me wrong. The color part is great, but the extra like $10 for the engraving that should only be like $5.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, it takes like 30 seconds to do.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking
Yeah.
laser, just like, all right, done.
Yeah.
I made $10. Hell yeah. Wish I
I
could
get
make
it.
$10 in like 10 seconds.
So yeah, I'm happy it's back. I'll look into it a little bit more later. Next thing we have,
Sure.
so Overwatch Crossplay actually went live a few days ago, or I think yesterday. And there was a
Something like
tweet
that.
that I laughed at. It was from a console player, and I have it up in front of me. Their name is Infamy.
Yeah, with the FEAM. Anyway,
So go follow them. I actually don't know who they are, so I'm not endorsing anyone. It was just a random person. But it says 3 years of playing Overwatch. I have never been slept mid Valk. If you don't know, Valk is Valkyrie, which is Mercy's ultimate where she flies around. First PC lobby I get into, I get slept mid Valk and pinned into the fucking wall. So I'm guessing PC player had a smart Reinhardt who knew how to react to that because there's not a lot of smart Reinhardts. Anywho, that was interesting to me because I was just thinking about how console players are going to get fucked in Overwatch because of the lack of aim assist and all that stuff, because they took that kind of stuff out when they crossplay. And I'm a full advocate of crossplay. I think every game should have it. I think it's a balancing act that no one's done like perfected yet so far though, and I think that should be looked into. Or like because the two games that we played that were crossplay now is Destiny, but we didn't play when they're crossplay, but it still has a similar issue because you and Halo. Master Chief Collective. Ironically, both games are Bungie games.
yeah.
So Halo, the controller is actually the dominant way to play because of how much aim assist and bullet magnetism there is. And same thing for Destiny. Even though when we played on PC and it was only PC,
We still played with the controller.
I still played with the controller, and we had the advantages of the controller. Like, so I think it's, as I said, every game should have crossplay. But I'm curious to see how they're going to make it more fair because it seems to me that it's always in balance in one way or the other. Granted, PC players can pick up a controller, but that's going to make it a lot harder for them, like, or for people that have been used mouse and keyboard. Because I know that from playing Overwatch on PC. Like, this is the first game that I seriously played I played mouse and keyboard. And I know if I were to play in a controller field, I'd be a lot better than I am because mechanically I'm being held back. Like, I understand the game, I can play the mind games, but because I've only played mouse and keyboard for a few years compared to other people who've only played PC, I'm kind of behind. So I'm really curious to see how they're going to play that balancing out later, and if they actually do get balanced out, will controller players in general, because I would imagine if it's crossplay and you're playing with a controller on PC, you would still get the benefits of what console players get for that input. would there ever be a time where both are equally competitive?
So my take on this is that I feel that if you're going to do cosplay, that you should start it at the beginning. And I know that's hard because we're right now it's kind of like the push to make crossplay games compatible, like games that didn't have crossplay to enable it, like such as Overwatch and when Apex Legends launched on the Switch like 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Now that's crossplay. And then Fortnite can be played on everything, and this kind of thing. But I feel that going forward to kind of what you're saying, make sure it's all balanced and kind of as even as possible, is to try and introduce crossplay at the very beginning. Because in the instance of like Apex Legends, people that have been playing on PC for like 2 years going up against a brand new Switch player, they're gonna get owned, especially because the Switch player, in order to even play Apex Legends, can only run at 30 FPS and I think 720 resolution on that little small ass screen. So like they're at a disadvantage for frames, input, and fucking display. So that's a huge discrepancy.
Like, to be fair, like, and I know what you're saying, but the Switch has that disadvantage on everything. That's the Switch.
But I'm just saying in general, like, so like it's kind of getting back to what you were saying a minute ago, how they had to dumb it down for Oculus when they're like porting VR or whatever. It's kind of the same thing. If you're gonna do a game that's crossplay, you have to look at the lowest common denominator and try to make it, because that's the only way that they're gonna like eliminate these advantages and disadvantages that you're talking about across the different platforms.
I disagree with you in the sense, not that they shouldn't look at it from the very beginning standpoint, but you're talking more about resolution and frame rate. And
I said input as well, because the Switch, if you're playing with the Joy-Cons, it sucks. I started playing Apex on the Switch when it launched because I could sit there in the living room and play with my girlfriend, which she's playing on Xbox. It's whatever. But I was playing with Joy-Cons and I kept getting my ass kicked. I'm like, I'm not great, but I'm not fucking awful. Well, wait. So like I was like, I'm not great, but I'm not awful. Like I was doing really, really bad. I was like, I don't suck this hard on PC. I actually can hold my own for the most part. And so I actually switched to my Animal Crossing controller, which is a pro controller, wireless, whatever. And I started doing a lot better. And I'm like, okay, so that's one of the things, is having a better controller. But, somebody who just bought a Switch because they got quarantined and they pull this shit out of the box, they're looking for free games. Oh, Apex Legends just launched. Yeah, I'm going to check it out. They're sitting there playing with Joy-Cons, they're going to get fucking wrecked.
I don't think
if they do crossplay.
No, I agree with you that they're going to get wrecked with Joy-Cons, but like I don't think that you should balance the whole game around Joy-Cons.
Right, but I'm just saying, just think of everything. If you're able to, when you're developing a game, if you're able to think of it from the beginning, then just at least you'll have it in the back of your mind.
Yeah, like I think you should, especially since the Pro Controller exists on Switch. Most serious people playing. Well, first off, they probably wouldn't be playing on Switch, but let's just say that's the only console they had, and they wanted to be somewhat competitive. Most of them would go out and buy a fucking controller. Oh, it disappeared. I don't know how you balance around that, because I kind of see it as you're doing it to yourself. Like, you can't balance around low frame rate. You can't balance around low resolution, because that's just not like, that's out of your control.
Right.
But I do agree that you should balance around input, just not Joy-Cons.
I mean, like until the
more standard input, you should.
I was gonna say until the new Switch Pro or whatever that's rumored comes out, then.
Because can you imagine Apex fucking balancing around motion controls?
And you know what? Like, when I first booted it up on Switch, I didn't realize that shit was enabled, and I kept, whenever I would move and stuff, like, I would be, like, looking down, I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I doing that? And I didn't realize that those fucking motion controls were enabled by default. So, yeah.
So I was like, Overwatch Switch, yeah.
So I was, like, fucking myself up. I'm like, oh, shit. And then I went in and started fucking with it into the options, and I was like, oh, motion controls were on. That actually makes sense. Okay. Yeah, that would be fucking crazy. It's just like, I'm playing this in VR.
Everyone else is shaking around.
Yeah.
That's more what I wanted to talk about when I was bringing up crossplay. Just like, that a lot of games have done it, but like no one, in my opinion, has done it right. But it does need to be there, in my opinion.
I agree. And what's funny is it's usually like the smaller games that try to do it first. Like Paladins got crossplay like fuck at least 2 years ago, I think.
Mhm.
And that was like an Overwatch clone or ripoff, whatever
Yeah,
wannabe type thing. You know, they
a hero
basically
shooter.
just yeah. And so, but I mean, they kind of stole a lot of ideas from Overwatch, including some art. But that's I'm pretty sure we talked about that in the past too. But anyway, you know, so they had crossplay. They've been doing it. Fortnite's had it. Like hell, you can play Fortnite on your fucking phone against somebody on the computer. You know, like
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
yeah, it is crazy, and that's weird. I think Call of Duty has it, or they're gonna get it.
Call of Duty has crossplay.
Okay, so yeah,
Warzone's
Call of
crossplay.
Duty.
Warzone's
Yeah,
100% crossplay.
okay, yeah. So I mean, but this is all of these bigger games following suit from some of these like smaller games, who had it and just have been having it. I think Fortnite's crossplay was actually, I guess it was probably when it started to blow up, but definitely not. It was around before the height of its popularity.
Yeah,
the whole like flossing and all these crossovers and shit. So
because I remember we played Save the World with Tom, who played on PlayStation.
yeah, exactly. So miss
Yeah.
you, Tom.
Wherever you are.
Yeah.
But moving on. We played a new game yesterday, DnD Dark Alliance. So it's a kind of a hack and slash D&D game.
They describe it as a co-op action brawler.
I'd call it a hack and slash.
Yeah, no, I agree. It kind of reminded me of kind of like Gauntlet, a little bit, or like old school. Oh God, what was that one game? Brute Force, or well, sort of not as shooty.
No. Brute Force?
Maybe no. Wait, what is it called? Shit. Whatever. It's kind of has like
Brute
just like
Force
an
is
old
the lizard game. The lizard guy and the guy that has his specials just to pull a chain gun off his back.
Maybe I'm thinking Freedom Force, something like that. But anyway, it's just kind of like a 4-player co-op online game that but this one's set in the Dungeons and Dragons universe. But unlike other RPGs or whatever, because they're trying to capitalize on the whole Dungeons and Dragons license, you have to pick from 4 like main characters, I guess. And
yeah,
when we were streaming yesterday, well, I mean, I was streaming on Twitch. He was playing with me. We noticed that like 3 of the characters were fighters, or at least 2 of them were fighters. It was
2 of them were fighters, and one of them was like a ranger, and the other one was like one was a fighter that uses archery, and then a ranger that doesn't use bows.
The dual wielding ranger, which, like I said, is a thing in D&D, but it is kind of mind boggling. And then the one that made the most sense was the barbarian, who was just like walking around with a big ass hammer.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I chose to play as the dual wielding ranger, and he chose the archer fighter.
Yeah, the fighter archer.
And it was kind of wonky. There was some parts like it was fun, but I think I'm pretty sure it's $60 on Steam right now.
I think it's 40.
Is it?
I think it was 40. When I saw it on Game Pass, I remember 40.
Okay,
I can look that up while you're talking.
All right, that's fine. Yeah. So anyway, anything above like $30, I'd say is probably too much. We both have Xbox Games Pass for PC, so we're able to play it for free essentially. I mean, free in the terms that we're paying for Games Pass, but I mean, if you can get it or play it for $30 or less, it might be worth at least one playthrough. The controls are kind of wonky. There are definitely times where there's like input delay or input lag, like it's just not responsive, not responding to what you're doing on screen. There were a couple times where it just felt like I was trying to dodge or trying to roll when it just wouldn't do it, and then when I was trying to res you, it wasn't res you, and then that happened to you. You were trying to res me, and it wouldn't let you res me. So it still has some problems and some quirks, but I think it could be fun. Like, I mean, I had fun, just the 2 of us. If we had a 4-player squad, it'd probably be fucking chaos. I can't imagine how many monsters would have been on screen. I don't even know if it scales like that, or if
it scales.
Okay.
The trailer says it scales.
Okay, so then it would have scaled. I don't imagine how much chaos that would have been if we had 4 players. So
So I kind of have a different opinion than you. Like, I'm not gonna say I didn't enjoy the time I played it. It is $40. I can't
Yeah.
imagine spending anything more than 24. The technical problems are too much for me. Um, and I just don't see a very in-depth game. I see it as something that you would play through once. I and like, okay, that was fun. I would not go back and try to max out everything, especially because how unresponsive the controls are. That really upset me. I felt like there was times that I shouldn't have been punished for something because I reacted correctly, and the game just said, "Fuck you, I don't want to do it." um, I I just think the gameplay itself is kind of basic. I we had two abilities. I know you can unlock a little bit more, but still, like, I don't see much depth into the combat system. Um, and it just kind of reminds me of those, like, when we first got into PC gaming back in 2013, so 8 years ago. There's a lot of those 360 games also, because we used to play on 360 as well. Like, a lot of those early hack and slash games where they would just be glitchy and buggy and the animations were weird. It totally reeks of that, and it shouldn't at this point in time. So I see it as a game where if you're super curious, $20, that's where I would draw the line. Um, if you really have nothing better to do, like, no other game that like piques your interest, because I can think of so many other games that I'd rather play. I'd rather go back and play Halo. I'd rather play Overwatch. Like there's other games that, like, I have no desire to go and play it unless, like, someone's like, hey, we have nothing better to play. Why don't we go back to play this? All right, that's fine. But it would never be like, what do you want to play? I want to play Dark Alliance. That's my opinion of it. It's all right. Know what you're getting yourself into, but it's definitely not something that you need to rush to play. And I'm saying this as of June 23rd. Maybe they'll go past the shit. Like, I'm not saying, like, I see the potential for it if they read it. I don't think they're gonna redo it because it's already a budget game at $40. But they can, amp up, add little details here and there that would make the combat more fun. Just make the fucking buttons responsive. But
Yeah, there it is.
that's my opinion.
I just feel like it sucks that we never have like the squad to try these games. Like, there's all these games that come out, like, yeah, you can do 4 players, you can do 8 players, you can do whatever, all this shit, and then it's here. It was just me and you, I still remember when we were playing Elder Scrolls Online, we'd go into 4-man dungeons as just a fucking duo, and we would do it. But the recommended time, or the normal, like, clear time's like 40 minutes. It took us like fucking 2 hours because it was just the two of us, and we had to cheese the shit out of it. It took fucking forever. Like, he basically focused on healing, I focused on DPS or whatever, but we get it done. And I kind of feel that's how it was yesterday too. Like, he picked the archer not even knowing that she had healing, because but he normally picks healers in games and stuff, and so it actually worked out for us because we reverted to our old style. Essentially, I'm up there, tanking, even though I'm not playing a tank. I'm playing just like essentially a glass cannon, and he's over there healing, and we still were able to figure out how to cheese it. Like, how there was that enemy that was down off the bridge, and you're just like fucking arrowing him, and he's just standing there, dude, just fucking taking it. Like,
well, the AI is fucking awful in general. It has, like, the Phantasy Star AI.
Okay, for those of y'all that don't know what the hell we're talking about with that, like, Phantasy Star Online, it used to be a new Genesis just launched. It's open world, but the old one was like you'd go to a specific map, like a ruins or a mine or forest, whatever, and there was essentially like doors. Some of them were physical doors, like inside the mines and the ruins, but like in the forest, it was kind of just
it's kind of like rooms, I guess, for lack of a better.
So basically, if you walked into a room, like he's saying, and you aggroed the enemies, but you were like, oh shit, I need to run. If you walked out of the door, like either the actual physical door, like the little laser grid or whatever, like the enemies were like, oh, they're gone, and then turn around and walk away. And that's like the same kind of AI that's in Dark Alliance, is that, we went and aggroed all these guys, and we're like, fuck, so we start backing off, and then once they get to a certain point, they just fucking turn around and walk away. We're like, fucking Phantasy Star all over again.
But I thought it was even worse, because at least in Phantasy Star, when you're on the other side of the door, or like in an area where they couldn't aggro, or they're not aggroed you couldn't hurt them. Here, there were some parts where they're in neutral position. I was able to reach them with the bow and just kill them without them ever reacting.
And then I went back and watched a bit of it earlier because I was gonna make some clips, and the part where I was like, "Oh, I think I made the troll walk into lava," or whatever. He basically did that to himself, and it was during the Fantasy Star thing. Like we were getting chased by this troll, and I was like, "Oh shit, I got into trouble." So I'm like rolling away. Daniel's popping arrows. We're backing up, and they decide to turn around and walk away, and the fucking troll turns and basically just bloop right into the fucking lava. So I was like, "Wow." It's pretty bad, especially when their pathing allows them to basically succumb to, the environmental hazards and shit. Um, but I do think if there were 4 players, it would be completely chaos, and I think it would be fun. There are moments of, like you said, frustration with the input lag or delay or just not functioning.
Not at all.
Yeah, there's some wonky, or maybe it was part of our misunderstanding at some points. Remember how like I could run through the frozen stuff without getting hurt, but then you were like almost dead, and then we figured out it's because I'm pretty sure it's because I got some warmth and then ran through unscathed. And then the poison can be gotten rid of by exploding it. Like we activated an explosive barrel and it got rid of some poison. Just like,
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
it's cool, but it seems a little weird.
It just feels unpolished. It feels unresponsive, and for a game that's like that, you don't want that.
Especially with the Dungeons and Dragons license. Like there's so many people that play D&D. It's such like a beloved franchise, like not necessarily the gaming side, the video game side of it, but Dungeons and Dragons as a brand has such like a huge fan base and following that it's almost like sort of a slap in the face, really.
Yeah.
Because the expectations are a lot higher. And then some of the design choices are just kind of weird, like the loot chest at the end or whatever. So you go around, you destroy monsters, and in these kind of games, one of the big draws is getting loot. Like, oh, I got to get an epic cape, I got to get an epic sword, I got to, get all the rare gear. And then you say you find a purple on the ground, and you're like, cool. There's literally no way to equip it until you finish the mission, and you go back to the main like town center hub area, and there's like a reward chest. You walk over there and open it. And we found that shit out the hard way because we got disconnected, and then I thought I lost all my gear, and I just walked up to the chest and was like, oh wait, it's in here. But it's like, it's kind of bad. You'd think that they would have played enough games like it that they were trying to imitate, that they would realize like, okay, if I get a purple sword, I'm gonna like clear the area so that I'm safe, and then equip the damn new sword and then go into the next room. But I think it might have been them not wanting to, how do I describe it? Like, work on the AI more. So where, like, let's say you go in and you're doing like 10 damage, and then you find a really good sword and you're doing 20 damage, that's literally double. So if you were having a hard time with the enemies, now you're basically wrecking them, or at least not having as much of a trouble. I think that's probably what they were trying to avoid, is having to do more work, because now they can say, oh, well, even though he's got a better sword, it's not going to matter until the next level they load into, because now we can take into account their gear score so we can adjust accordingly,
I think you brought something you said, maybe think about maybe why a reason I don't really care for it that much. When you're talking about like maybe they played other games like this and they did it, it's like that's perfect. There's so many other games like this that did it better. So there's not really a reason to play this one if you look at it that way.
I mean, it's new.
It's free if you have Game Pass.
It's new. It's free on Game Pass. Yeah, it has D&D license. I don't know.
Maybe I'm not a D&D fan, so maybe that's why I don't care. Like I'll play the game, but like like I said, there's so many other games that have done it already and did it well.
Yeah, I mean, really, the only one I recognized was Uzrid or whatever, the character that I picked. Excuse me, the character that I picked. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I picked him, because I sort of recognized him. The other ones, I'm like, I have no idea who the fuck these people are. I really don't have any sort of connection to them. And they tried their best, like in the opening cutscene, to kind of like, fill in a little bit of the backstory. But it's like, oh, this is the so-and-so, and this is so-and-so's daughter, and this is the, blah. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, they could have done it so much better. Like you said, the other games that did it and did it better, so they just kind of missed the boat on that.
Yeah, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I feel like there's there's potential. Like the core idea of it, I feel like it had potential. The execution was awful, and I don't feel like they're gonna recover from it just because it's a budget title. It's on Game Pass. I think it's gonna be one of those things like just chalk up to like, okay, it sucked. Next time we'll maybe do better.
Dark Alliance too.
Yeah, not so bad this time.
Darker Alliance. More shadows this time.
That's really all I got.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we covered all of the stuff we wanted to talk about in this episode. I don't know what the hell that was.
There is one thing that I want to say.
Right.
Freaking Sonic Minecraft. That's badass. I want to play it.
So I saw that, but I was gonna ask you. Well, I guess now since you brought it up, I was gonna ask you: is it something you have to pay for, or is it like if you have Minecraft, you just need to install a mod?
I don't even know.
Okay.
I don't even know. I wouldn't be surprised if it was free though, because Xbox and Sega do have a really good relationship.
Actually, while you're go ahead and keep talking about it for a second. I actually want to bring something. I want to find something on Twitter.
I just think it looks really cool. I like how they actually. It looks like it's an actual game. They added a game into it, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's paid because of how much detail there is into it, and how that it looks kind of like how they do the Lego Jurassic Park, except just Minecraft Sonic.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if it's only a level, maybe just like how we did this, or if it's like a few levels. I don't expect a full story mode, but I'm curious on how in depth it is. I think it looks cool. I would like to play it. Unfortunately, I don't own Minecraft, and
well, so I do own Minecraft, so
yeah,
it's
I know
free.
you do.
I'll see about figuring out a way. Maybe we can like log you in via Parsec or something. But I'm watching the trailer for it right now just to see if it mentions anything about it. But one of the things that I was looking for on Twitter was so the original creator of Minecraft, his name is Notch. I think his name's like
Notch, yeah.
But I mean his real name, but anyway, he goes by Notch.
Right.
And he tweeted about the Sonic the Hedgehog thing and said, "I'm not even going to apologize for this one." And then that's not even the tweet I saw. I just saw that right now because I was trying to find his account. Literally the same day, it looks like maybe an hour later, because it just says yesterday or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not the one to speak ill of the dead, but yeah, Minecraft's a little bit dead. This is the creator talking about it.
Yeah, but he sold it off like years ago.
I know, but I'm just saying, and he literally just tweeted about it, like I said, maybe an hour before that tweet, and he's talking about, yeah, Minecraft's a little bit dead.
I don't play Minecraft. I kind of don't care for it that much. Minecraft's not dead.
I agree, Minecraft isn't dead.
Like Minecraft's nowhere close to being dead.
If anything, it's seen a resurgence because of like all these YouTubers and all the fucking Twitch people, some like PewDiePie or whoever started playing it, and like all these famous Twitch streamers were playing it.
Maybe he's referring to the original idea of what he wanted Minecraft to be. And we did have Minecraft on 360, so we do know what the somewhat base Minecraft, because it did start like, you did have a few patches in, but you didn't have hunger yet, you didn't have water yet, or thirst or whatever. You didn't have the survival aspect of it yet. And compared to like what we used to play and what I've seen now in some of the videos like that randomly go viral and stuff, it's a vastly different game. It's a very vast different game. So maybe that's what he's referring to. Like, yeah, like this is just like kind of like how Fortnite's just such a big sellout. But yeah, in terms of being a dead game, no.
Yeah, not even close.
The character just got into fucking Smash.
Right?
Like,
yeah, I think it was like towards the end of last year or something, but yeah, it's not a dead game, but in that sense, like the community is very much alive for it. But yeah, I agree that he's probably talking about his original idea and all that is dead. But honestly, that's on him. I mean, he sold the fucking game. So, if he was a true whatever pioneer, visionary, whatever. Yeah, exactly. if that was his thing, then he wouldn't have sold out. He would have just stuck with it, you know? Because I mean, who knows? Maybe if he didn't sell it to Microsoft, maybe it could have actually made more money by this point. Like, I mean, I'm sure it going to Microsoft definitely helped because they have so much like, you know, budget for advertising and there's such a huge install base and everything. Like, there's a lot of pluses in that sense. But like,
Yeah.
maybe if he had remained independent, they still could have reached those heights. It just may have taken a little bit longer. Like, who knows? So for him to say that, it's, I don't know, it's kind of fucked up, I think, because you know he had a choice.
Well, from my understanding, people don't like him anymore. I don't know why. I think he did something fucked up. But you know, I don't think anyone cares what he thinks. Honestly, I think that's the main thing, and surely the Minecraft community doesn't care.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, he's the creator, but he doesn't do shit for it anymore. So you know,
He's not involved in it, so his opinion really doesn't matter.
exactly. And it is just crazy to see what all is available now. Like I remember one of my friends, I was watching him stream something entirely different, and he started talking about Minecraft, and he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this Pokemon Minecraft server," and I'm like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, it's a mod where you can like, you know, it's like Pokemon but in the Minecraft world." I'm like, "Okay."
So my cousin, uh, big fan of those open world type games, like I guess creative where he plays that. He plays
Arc.
Ark, yeah. So when he plays Minecraft, he plays solely on like this medieval, like there's dragons and like a medieval mod, but like
Nice.
redoes the whole world into like some medieval thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like that's the only Minecraft he touches. So yeah, like the mod community itself is freaking huge there. So the mod, you know, maybe that's another thing. Maybe like the main game is dead. I don't know, but the mod community is alive and well, and the game itself is not dead.
I mean, aside from the Sonic thing, because I mean, I'm pretty sure that's not a mod. I'm pretty sure that's
No,
official.
that's the main. Yeah, that's the main thing. Yeah,
So
I want to see that.
yeah, we'll look into it because you know, I'm interested too. So
It's
maybe we'll have a
Sonic's
video of
30th
that
birthday.
soon. Yeah, if we do,
All right.
we'll put something up on the channel. But
Yep. That's all I got.
all right, well, I've been Matthew.
And I've been Daniel.
I'll see you guys in the next episode.
Yep. Latest.
Peace.